Okay, HJ47, how sick is this? I just want to swear it is so cool. This thing's a touring rig and it is owned by Nick and Laura. They're touring at the moment. They're from South Australia. This 8th month, 1984, HJ47 started life in South Australia around Cameron's Corner. So good dry country if you want to buy yourself a clean car. Now Nick, he bought it off his cousin who owned it 5 years before him, so don't know its full history, but we know it's an outback rig, and Nick has done a lot of work to this, and they find themselves now in Queensland. Pop into Mr. Landcruiser. We've met before, he's toured this thing before, but this time they're on their way to Moreton Island for a bit of a holiday, and it's a good time of year for that. But let's talk about this rig. This is sick. It is actually, it's a 47, but Nick was in an accident and only bent the chassis. He didn't hurt the body, so he had to do a chassis swap. He found himself a small eye. A lot of guys will know what I'm talking about. It's an earlier 45 chassis with the small eyes. So he's actually picked all the suspension mounts off, the spring hangers, and he's welded them onto this one, so it retains the 47 suspension under there. And he's put the cab back on there, done a really nice job. We'll go around the whole thing. We'll start up the front. The ARB bar supports a pair of light forces, and a steady light bar for touring. And I really love the scrub rails on this. He's had a lot of custom work done to this. The scrub rails lead to the exoskeleton, which is really, really cool. I'm thinking about, legally you've got to call them a roof rack or something, but I'm thinking about putting one of these on my car, and this just makes me fall in love with it even more. Also on the other side we have the Donaldson setup. This is an NA. Now I've spoke to Donaldson themselves. Back in the day, people that know Ruthie with the big Donaldson. Donaldsons are fantastic for NA. No good for turbo 2Hs, but excellent for an NA2H, and that's what this beast is. We'll go under the bonnet soon. Also on the outside, on the other side, we have, it's more of a change room than an awning because they tour this thing. And then we've got the drifter tent up on top. So I asked them, do they like it? They said, only disadvantage is you've got to pull your pillows and blankets out, but they've got the dry storage box underneath. And that dry storage box also has a red arc DC-DC system, and that's where they keep their fridge and a few other goodies. While I'm back here on the tray, she is a beauty. Check out the lights on the back of this. Now, Nick is a diesel mechanic, works on road trains and stuff, I believe. So we're walking around this car, and a lot of the electrical and the hoses, them lights at the rear, he's got access to some heavy duty stuff. So he's put the truck lights on the back, and it just looks sick. Also with this tray, it was made for this car. It hasn't come off another car. It's got, underneath we've got 80 litres of water, and there's a little tap on the other side. 80 litres of water, and the 4 toolboxes, and more dry storage for touring. She's sitting, Nick told me this is about 2.5 tonne empty or thereabouts. So she's nice and heavy. It's got rated suspension, old man emu, and it's sitting on, check out the rims. They've got a few different dates on them. I'm looking at the front one, it is 1988, so probably off for 60, but they really do give it a look. And he's running us Bridgestone jewelers on there. Well set up for touring. Also on this rig, check it out. Aid, who comments on all of our videos, is gonna love this. It has a highway visor, and they make a hell of a difference when you're touring. Also check out the mirrors. They're 40 series arms. You don't see them much anymore. A lot of us are adapting 70 series ones, which only have the 2 holes. Nick scored himself some doozies there. One more thing, on the other side, he's got the HF aerial for the big trips tucked away there for touring. Let's not waste any time. Let's go and have a look at the 2H. 2H, God's gift, the apocalyptic engine of the future. When the world goes shit, this is the engine you're going to need. They run on sump oil, believe me, we know. This one's a doozy. It might shorten its life. This one's a doozy, so it's not the original engine. Number 5, I believe, was gone. what Nick did was found another engine, but the head had a crack in it, and that's how we met Nick. So he came in and asked us for a head. Before we sell them, we get them crack tested and what have you, and say, yeah, this one's ready to go for sale. So we met Nick, sold him the head. He's done that. He's also done, if we can pop down and have a close look in there, that injector pump's pretty damn shiny. He's done the pump, the injectors, the head. I see like the alternator's new. You also see this bad boy. He has got air conditioning in this one. Big tourer, touring as a couple. It's nice just to be comfy in there. And what I don't see here, and I was chatting to Nick, is there's no condenser. Now he's gone aftermarket and put one underneath the vehicle, underneath the tray, which I think is a fantastic idea, because even myself, I look at mine and go, how am I going to put a cooler there? I've got a new engine, I want to intercool it. Well, that's one answer, is to move your condenser, and it's done a great job. She's running the old extractors, 2H extractors. I did look at the wiring, and Nick pointed out that some of that mess is in his, but he's done an excellent job of consolidating the rest of it, tidying it all up, easy access to the engine bay. So he's really looked after this thing. Also, I mentioned this big hose. I said, what's that, fuel line or something? And he said, again, he works for a transport company, road trains, and he's got access to some pretty heavy duty stuff. And what I've saved, piece of resistance, the last cool thing on this car is the aftermarket, very high-end overflow bottle. I haven't seen these on the shelf anywhere else, so I'm gonna have to talk to Nick and ask him what supermarket he got that bottle from, because he's had a nice drink of milk by the looks of it and put that in there. Nice job, Nick. Let's have a look inside. Okay, look inside. The golden gear stick knobs. How fancy is that, Nick? A lot of times I sit inside these to talk about the inside, but this one's all tinted windows and it's an overcast day, so it's dark inside. But I've got to tell you, when they have aircon, tinted windows and a sun visor combo, that makes the world of difference. It just keeps it all cool inside. They all go hand in hand. If you're thinking about aircon, the more you do, the better. And they're only a little cab. The old knee freezer will have this chilled in no time. So yes, I've mentioned it's the knee freezer. A few things I really like about this one. Well, one thing I love about this one, it's rough and ready. It's a million times said before, they're my favourite, the Tourers, the ones that are used, the real ones. And this one has the original dash. What it does have is the original radio. Now, it does still work, but the speaker's gone, but if I turn it on, it'll all light up. Also with this one is, it's got the fiberglass roof with the built-in overhead console. I know FRP do one. I can't say that's an FRP roof, but if you like this sort of thing, FRP do offer that style. So up there we've got UHF, lots of parcel space, some speakers and what have you, and it's all matching. I really like the way the hood lining has this nice seam to match in with the overhead console. Just comes up a treat. We are running some canvas seat covers. It's probably not as hot as sitting on the old Toyota vinyl, and just protects the seats as well. Still got its factory floor. It's very, very 84, very factory in here. It looks good. The door cards. Again, you can tell a Tour probably hasn't been vacuumed in a while. She's dusty. It's really, really, really cool. Also, 5-speed. Those gold shiny knobs lead down to a 5-speed. So it's had the conversion, which makes the world of difference. Again, it's a Tourer. You want the 5-speed. 5-speed and aircon. This one's Armstrong steering, and it's just, you know, use it. Look what we got here. We've got the deodorant, we've got the thongs. Bloody big foot. You know what they say about big feet? Big socks. That's the interior of this vehicle. Okay, a few more things while I'm on the outside of the vehicle. It's got the 10mm bolt upgrade in the rear axle. He's drilled them out and given it the upgrade. That paint is actually Raptor. You might not be able to see it from back there. We go in close, you'll see it's a nice, fine Raptor. Done a great job. Also, in the back, I didn't mention Bess. That's Bess in the back of the vehicle, just living life. So, Nick and Laura, they call it their last hurrah, because Laura's pregnant and they've got the dog and they're on their way to Moreton Island for 3 or 4 nights. This is fantastic. This is what it's about. So they're really enjoying the last big trip for a little while in this vehicle, and then they're heading back to South Australia where it all happens. But I'm so grateful they stopped in again. They've stopped in to Mr. Landcruiser for a yarn and a hello, and then they're on their way. They're going straight now to Moreton Island. How cool is that? I hope you enjoyed this one. These are the ones I love. It's an 8th month 1984 HJ47.